have the pleasure of welcoming Arjen Van Berkum to our interview series. I'm Vanessa Rose from Engati. Let's begin with just a quick introduction of Engati. Engati is the world's leading multilingual no-code chatbot platform, available across 14 channels with 25,000 bots created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. We run the Engati blog and video channel, which receives upwards of 300,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest, Arjen is the Chief Operations Officer at Another Monday, an intelligent automation company where he lives and breathes automation and artificial intelligence. A keynote speaker, columnist, blogger, motivator, innovation fan, and an entrepreneur. Welcome, Arjen. We are thrilled to have you.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
Let's get to our first question. According to you, is automation only about simplifying business processes, or what else do you think can solve it?
Well, automation is a strange beast. Automation is not just one thing. It is a lot of different things. It can be RPA, it can be chatbots, it can be AI, it can be machine learning. So in order to answer your question, is automation of vital importance for organizations? Yes. In any way. Even if you're a legacy company or if you are a new company, all kinds of automation will help you drive future value and make sure that you can actually focus your workforce on the right stuff and not on the stuff that can be done by a machine. So in that sense, automation is key. It's critical.
You speak about bringing together innovation and disruption. What, according to you, is the correlation between the two?
Well, the correlation is that they both are dealing with change. However, for me, innovation is much more incremental. So innovation is about doing what you've always done and trying to do it better in other ways, in innovative ways. Disruption is about doing something completely different. And the difference between the two is that disruption goes much faster, is usually much more unexpected, and comes from angles you usually don't expect it. It's a fundamental change of your business model, whilst innovation is something you can see gradually coming towards you and you can prepare for that. So in that sense, automation as a technique or as a way of thinking is not disruptive by nature, it's innovative by nature because we can all see it happening. The only thing is that not everybody is actually dealing with it.
How important do you think the role of humans is when automating experiences for customers?
Well, I think humans excel at three things above machines, and that are creativity, empathy, and entrepreneurship. And especially if you look at the first one, creativity, in order to create superior customer experiences, you need to be creative. You need to understand what customers want, what their story is, how you can help them, and by bringing that then one step further, that's vital. Now, on the empathy part, and although machines are getting pretty good at sensing emotions, they're still not as good as humans are. So if you are really into the business of having emotionally based customer care, well, then humans will, at this moment in time, outpace the machine. Not for like decades, but for the near future, humans will be better at that. And then coming to entrepreneurship, no matter what, a machine will never buy a lottery ticket because it understands the chance. A human being sometimes do things that is against the law of chance, but in the end it will work out very well, and it requires a certain kind of risk-taking. And for me, risk-taking is entrepreneurial thinking. So it's not like being an entrepreneur, but it's having the entrepreneurial mindset. Now, all the other stuff that you need for a superior customer interaction, that you can automate. If you use a good low-code platform, you can rapidly design and develop all kinds of ways of thinking on how to actually improve the customer satisfaction. But if you really want to surprise your customer, you need to be creative, empathic, and entrepreneurial. So it's a vital role.
What are certain developments you see in the field of AI and automation in the next 1 year?
Well, the funny thing is that if you take it one day at a time, it looks like nothing has happened. But if you look back 5 years from today, you say, whoa, what a lot actually happened. And that is also with AI and machine learning over the next 12 months. It are going to be small steps. And every step on its own is not being seen as a big one. But if you take them all together, there will be huge steps in artificial intelligence and machine learning. We will see in the next period, of course, a lot of focus on everything in the medical world. And it could be based on home diagnostics to algorithms that can easily identify risk groups. Can help us identify who should be vaccinated first or not. So we'll definitely see a lot of development in the healthcare industry. The other industry where we will see a lot of effort in the AI space is going to be in everything that revolves around process mining and process identification, where having huge chunks of data now makes it relatively easy and possible to detect where large processes are actually being done and what they really are. And that will help us make steps forward. But that's on a really practical level. If you look on a more fundamental level, what's going to happen in the space of especially AI, we will see that it becomes much easier to start using unstructured data than the current structured data approach that most of the AI machine tooling uses.
Most of traditional companies are hesitant to adapt to the world of automation. What, according to you, can bring a change in their thinking?
Well, in order to understand that, the first step is to understand why companies are hesitant. What I see is that there's a correlation between the age of the organization and its willingness to change. So older organizations are far less likely susceptible for change than newer organizations. At the same time, automation and especially tools like RPA are mainly used in organizations that have significant legacy issues and are using automation as a patchwork on their legacy. Now, what you see is that actually there's a world of two speeds coming into existence. There's the organizations that need automation to keep their old stuff running in a digital transformative society. And there are those organizations that actually understand that in order to be truly transforming, that they need to get rid of their legacy or continue to build on a new strategy that doesn't involve legacy anymore. So for me, these old organizations need to make a choice. And if they don't make one of these two choices and do nothing, they're going to be stuck in the middle, because the speed on which automation develops and gives your competitors a competitive edge to actually start producing cheaper, make less mistakes, etc., means that at the end, if you don't do it, you're going to be like the rabbit in the headlights of the car. You're going to get hit. So you need to move either left and automate on top of your legacy, or either to the right, decide to move away from your legacy into something new. And I believe that this last one is the valid strategy, because if we have seen development in front-end dev on low-code, we're also seeing now that low-code is making approaches into the world of the backends and the data and integration layers, which means that also in those areas, going for new technology is no longer a hindrance.
How do you believe automation in the corporate space in the future is going to change the way we view our work and relationships?
I believe that we are going to see a revival of human values in the next months, partly, of course, because we will see a significant reappraisal of the public sector in general. And what we see with nurses and doctors and police agents, there will be, on the one hand, a drift to more wanting real, meaningful, human-based contact. On the other hand, we also know that a lot of jobs are being done purely for the sake that we have once thought in the process that they should be done. So I believe that the next big step is that we are going to reevaluate our processes. We're going to take out unnecessary steps that have been brought in there for control purposes, but with the coming of AI and machine learning and advanced algorithms, a lot of these processes were there for fraud detection, they are going to go away. So I believe that it will start in risk management domains, in the finance function, where we will see the first big steps, and it will move gradually into the customer space. However, in the long run, any company, any organization that does not embrace automation is poised to go bankrupt.
Given your experience in the field of AI, what do you believe lies in the future of conversational intelligence? How is it going to change the world of customer service?
This is a real difficult question because machines are not that good in finding out empathy. If you take, for instance, the domain of speech recognition, most speech recognition tools can go to 99.5 digits accuracy of understanding what is being said. But the emotion behind it, the best ones are currently between 60 and 65%, which means that there are too many mistakes, and especially things like humor, sarcasm, irony are very hard for machines to detect. So what I see already is there's a lot of attention on how to identify these. So, for instance, irony and sarcasm and humor in conversations so that a machine knows how to deal with it. This will take time because it requires a lot of data for the machines to learn on, and B, it also requires a certain accuracy in order to get there, which means that testing it in real life is difficult if you're like 60 to 70% accurate. So what we will be seeing is first in low-end customer care, like service calls, we will start seeing conversational intelligence and conversational AI purely for the sake that the risk of having the wrong impression is relatively low there. And in order to bring it to high service or even sales calls from a conversational intelligence, I think that's not going to happen in the next 12 months. It is going to happen in the service area in the next 12 months, but it's only going to be in those language areas where there's enough data. So it's going to be in, let's say, the top 4 or 5 languages globally, which is, of course, Spanish, English, Chinese, Hindi, and then that's probably it. Because even the German market, for instance, is too small to actually develop a language pack for that at this stage. So I think it will take some time, but we'll definitely see the first inroads in the next 12 months, as I said, in low-end service calls.
Is there something more, Arjen, you want to share with our viewers?
Yeah. Don't be afraid. Automation is not something you should be scared about. It is actually a blessing if you're able to see that it will help us focus on human values more. Bots and artificial interfaces and intelligence, etc., are not the Terminator. What they are doing is they are giving us the opportunity to reinvent what it's like being human. And if we embrace that opportunity, we will definitely see a lot of potential in the next years to come to grasp real human potential. If we are only going to use this as an optimization strategy and as a strategy to create more profit, then there will be a lot of resistance against this. But if we use it for the good it can bring, which means that not all the benefits should go to shareholders, but some of these benefits should also go to other types of labor, expanding in certain other areas, yes, then it will definitely be meaningful. But especially terms like artificial intelligence, and we've used it a lot in this conversation, is of course a lot of marketing hoax because there is no artificial intelligence. The fact is there are very smart machines that have a lot of data, and based on that data they can do really smart things. It's not like it's thinking on its own as we as humans are doing. And especially when we talk about AI, we should always be aware that also those people that are making the laws for us, if they misunderstand what it is, we will be confronted with regulation that will set technology backward for years. So yes, we will make faster decisions. Yes, we'll make better decisions. But we as humans will continue to make them because we are supported by machines. And as long as we can keep on thinking like that and not put every decision into a machine, but have the machine augment our decision progress, then AI moves away from artificial intelligence to augmented intelligence. And if we're able to really do augmented intelligence, we can have the best of both worlds. We can have creativity, empathy, entrepreneurship, together with superior decision-making, calculation power, which means that we as human beings will get much further ahead than we are right now.
It was really helpful. Thank you so much, Arjen, for joining us.
It is a pleasure. You enjoy as well.